Hello and welcome from what is a very, very hot truck in a long stay car park at Heathrow. Now, this is a lot of firsts for this upload,
including this. Now, of course, of all the days that I am going to travel, there is a global computer outage. It was an absolute show, to put it polite and put it blunt. It was ridiculous how the staff managed to organise anything. Was amazing. So what we are going to be doing, the title isn't a lie, we are going to be travelling to the airport, we are going to be checking out the actual hotel as well, but we will also in this upload be covering the absolute chaos and carnage of what unfolded was at the airport, and it was just insane. So stick around, because that will be added on later on in the video, and also the trip to the actual car park. If you want to see that for a little bit of a joyride, I will add that into the very, very end of this video, because if I separated this into 3 videos, it wouldn't have made sense whatsoever. So you're now going to catch back up with a positive me, not actually knowing what I'm about to walk into.
So, for the first time, I am travelling, but not because of a theme park, especially a Legoland park. This is the first time I've actually had to drive this way to T4. It's the first time this year. It is absolutely roasting hot as well. So it couldn't have been the worst day to travel. It's like 28 degrees going by the thermometer on this truck. And also what's going to be a first is I'm staying here overnight and flying out. First flight, I think it's 7 o'clock, 6:30 tomorrow morning. So we are going to go from here to the hotel to check into the airport, obviously, on the other side. And it's all going to be new. So we've got 3 different airports to visit, and we've got a couple of different hotels to visit, I think, before this video ends. If it doesn't go that way, then it might just be a highlight reel of what is to come, but I will explain all in the voiceover. Now, I am sweating hot already, so I will go to a voiceover, but like I said, the plan of attack is now go from here. We're going to get the bus to T4. From T4, I then need to find this hotel, because I've never stayed here before. Like I said, this is all new coming from Terminal 4. It should be easy enough, just follow the signs. I've flown out from Heathrow plenty of times before, but not from this direction. So it's all brand new. It should be nice and exciting to share that with you for the first ever time. So I will go to a voiceover now. Fingers crossed the tempo stays nice and high and the trip was not a disaster getting there, because we have got a couple of connecting flights. So fingers crossed, nothing is delayed.
Yeah, it was by about 9 hours. I missed all my flights. Absolute carnage. But like I said, before we get to that bit, we will get over to this, which of course is me not knowing anything that is about to unfold the following day. So like I had just said, we are going to be making our way now to the airport, and then from the airport we actually then have to find a hotel. So everything was a first for me. There's a lot of firsts, including the global computer outage, but I am not going to dwell on that because the trip was fantastic. It just took a long time to get there. Now, this isn't sped up. This is how fast the bus driver was driving in the car park, and then this is how fast he was driving on the way through. I think he must have been in a bad mood. I was the only one on here, and as you can see, we are heading over to Terminal 4. That actually hotel to the right-hand side and the big walkway through is what we're about to do. I didn't realise that when I was on the bus, but I did see the Holiday Inn bit up at the top, and that's actually where I was staying. So it's a really, really easy place to get from T4. So I do highly recommend staying at any of the hotels that are linked within the Terminal 4 hotel, because you just do what I'm doing now. I've literally just been dropped off by the bus, walk through the T4 gate. Obviously, I've been taking photos and videos. Don't forget, I have my bag and my suitcase with all the other bits and pieces. Come through arrivals, you pick up the signs, which you can see just there. That's nice and easy. And then we head over, which I do believe is to the lifts. Now, in the lift, just be careful, because you can obviously push the button. It does tell you what one to go onto. 2 doors, though. So don't get that wrong, because I did see somebody before I started filming standing the wrong way. and the door did close, and I did manage to open up the door again before we got out because he was standing the opposite way. Walk through that door, up you go to the escalator, and then on the escalator you are then in the actual airport. So you're in this bit, we're not checking in, we're not doing any of that, we are just following the hotel signs. From that you've got all the check-in gates and everything to the left-hand side. T4 is very, very small, super easy. Really did enjoy the drive as well, but like I said, we'll cover that at the end of the video. So still following the hotel signs, through the doors, over this huge bridge. Now it is all the way down, so you have got Holiday Inn, Premier Inn, and the fancy hotels as well, all at the back. And for me, luckily, it was the first one, so it was only a couple of minutes, and it was roasting on the inside of here as well. There's no air conditioning normally in the UK anyway, because obviously we don't tend to have much of a summer, but this was the start of the heat wave, so it was a little bit sweaty. But you can see you got the Crowne Plaza and the Holiday Inn linked within the same section of that huge hotel that we've seen. You carry on walking down there, and it takes you to another two, and then you've got an amazing one at the end. But we are walking to the Holiday Inn, so you wrap it round the corner, you come round, easy enough, you literally go down, turn right, turn left, come to these escalators just here, and then down you go. I couldn't be bothered to take the lift. I will say it now, you know it's bad when the drive to an airport on the UK roads is the most simplest thing you had to do travelling at all. When I say all of my flights were delayed, I ended up getting on 7 different flights. Every single one of them was delayed, and I mean by hours as well. This day, I lost a whole day from just this, but I can moan as much as you want. I was very, very lucky compared to a couple of people that were trying to get back to Australia and they couldn't get on a flight for 72 hours. Like I said, the staff were phenomenal, but we will cover that in a little bit, and I will actually end up slowing some of the photos down just so I can actually explain everything that went on. It was amazing effort by everybody on the teams. I think there's 200 people just on my flight alone that missed a connecting flight, and then obviously I had no luck because then my connecting flight was delayed of takeoff.
So we have made it to the hotel room, and what a fantastic hotel this is. So I will first off try and find all of the light switches. I've literally just walked through the door, haven't actually put the room key in, so that's not going to work well. It's a schoolboy error. Let's get that in, because you can't see anything. There we go. Right, what do we have? Very nice. So as you've already seen, getting here, it didn't take too long. Battery just died, so that was not a very good start. Now, this is the view. So we have got the elevator literally just there. The check-in bit is just on the other side, and you can see it just goes all the way up. So we will explore this quickly. It's just a really nice, easy location just to get into T4. I do need to go back to Terminal 4 and obviously try and get my flight and everything sorted, because I'm not 100% sure what's going on. And I think I'm going to grab some food from there anyway, because I am absolutely starving. And big TV. We'll go over all the plugs and everything later on once it's sort of been lived in a little bit, but my alarm is set for probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, so it won't be like a normal hotel review where I've actually been able to find everything, but I have spotted straight away that you have got the plugs and the USB, which is always helpful, and then you've got extra lights and everything like that, so we can have a bit of a play with everything as we go around. Storage, bit at the top, bit down there, bit down at the bottom. Bits and pieces to hang your bits up, stuff in there. I mean, this is perfect for 2 adults. It's not a family room or anything. Shower. Nice big walk-in shower. Hopefully it's nice and powerful. Very weird shower head on, and nice fancy bits and pieces. So yeah, very smart. I am staying in the Holiday Inn side, so I'm staying on the poor side. Not the really fancy Crowne Plaza, which you would have seen on the walk-in as well, because that was only double the price, I think. And to be honest, well, it's a comfy enough bed, doesn't creak, living the dream really with that. So we'll tuck into this a little bit later on. I'll probably do it back over again as a voiceover, or if I've got time, we'll do it like this. I need to sort out some bits and pieces. Yummy. Sort out some bits and bobs on. That's not from me, by the way. That is just something on there. Which now means I've now got to tell the reception so they know that I haven't spilt anything. Where was I? Lost train of thought. So yeah, basically I need to get some bits and pieces sorted, get the stuff out ready for a shower, brush my teeth, get changed first thing in the morning, head off and get going. I'll figure out the air conditioning later on, but I'm really, really hungry. That's why I'm waffling. So I'm going to go off, get some food, come back and then catch back up with you and see and explain a little bit more of exactly what this trip has to offer. Slightly annoying because I actually have to now explain that I didn't do that stain. I'm sure they already knew it was there, but you just don't want to get it taken off your bill, do you? So it is what it is, it happens all the time. But my plan of attack is now to go back to T4, which is probably only a couple of minutes away. It's not really that far away. So I will actually be able to time it a little bit better. And I would have told you already in the voiceover how long it actually would have taken, so that's nice. You can see you've got my name up on there. I'm staying in room 118, which is a nice little touch, and you've got all these real nice big TV, which you will explore later on. But my plan of attack is I need to speak to somebody about the flight, and I'm starving. So more importantly, I need to get some food. It is only 3:15 in the afternoon, so I've got here in really, really good time, which is fantastic. And you would have seen that bus was doing what felt like 100 miles an hour. It felt like I was on speed, about to jump over the bridge. So if you've not seen the classic film Speed, that reference would have been completely lost on you. So I will explore this hotel room in a little bit greater detail later on when I get back, but I am far too hungry to think about anything like that. And it does say take a flip. Does it mean take a flip on the bed, or does it take a flip on the... Oh, well, we will explore that in a little bit once I grab some food. Right, a little bit of time has passed. I've gone all the way to the terminal and back, which takes minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. Now, I have think I've checked in on the flight now, but I still need to figure some bits and pieces out. I have no idea how I can actually sort my seat out. So I've done it through somebody different for the first ever time, and I can't actually find an app for the airline, which is slightly concerning. So if this video suddenly ends with me crying back in the truck, you know that I've done something completely wrong. But I have found this. So you've got a bit more storage up at the top. You've got the iron, and then you've got the ironing board, and there's a plug just underneath. And then all the plugs around the outside are spot on with regards to obviously having the USBs. Plenty of different bits and pieces about, so it's nice and easy. Air conditioning works, and again, you've got another one here where I've just put my clothes ready for the morning. You've got the plugs with another USB socket for like laptops and things like that. So I am now just going to chill out for a little bit, try and figure out exactly what's what with regards to the actual flight, and then you'll catch back up with a little bit more hotel footage because it's beautiful, isn't it? It's got some nice bits and pieces that I would have already added in the photos and different things like that. But yeah, the view again from here, very, very simple, but very, very pretty at the same time. It's a huge, huge hotel. So there is a gym underneath, but my card won't take me there because I'm with the Holiday Inn group, not the Crown Plaza, I think. So I will try and do that. And if a photo suddenly appears in the voiceover, you know I managed to get on it. But it works for me. So next catch up, hopefully in the voiceover, if I don't find anything else in this room, will be tomorrow morning, making our way to the check-in, and then off to Amsterdam for the first leg.
Oh, that famous Amsterdam leg. Okay, so we are just looking at the last little bit of the actual hotel. I did actually forget to film all of these little bits and pieces. Really nice big shower, really warm as well. We always like a powerful warm shower. And then we'll have a couple of photos of the actual rooms that all look neat and tidy. That was me waving to myself. So the room was a good size. The bed was lovely, but like I said, I wasn't in it long because I think I was up at 3:30. Walked down the little walkway, and I think it was 4 o'clock check-in. 4 o'clock check-in, and then flew off early, I do believe. So it was all early, and it threw me a little bit because I didn't realise that the IT issue had already started. So we'll go through some of these hotel photos first. Obviously, I've just said what I've just said with regards to the hotel and how easy it was just to walk back through. You could grab some food and things like that. I would highly recommend you actually taking your own food into the hotel or probably eating at the restaurant, because a meal deal was extremely expensive on this side of the airport compared to going into the airport. They put all their prices up quite a bit, probably because there was just nowhere else to eat around T4. But you can see just the size of the hotel, and again, you can see the escalator, pretty cool green. So that was the first thing you saw when you started to come in the morning. Now, talking of morning, walk over the link bridge like we've just done, and we will start to see some of the chaos very, very soon. Now, it's easy enough. We all know how you check in. You should be able to do it on your phone. You couldn't do it on your phone. So this is me now walking to this. Every single person had to join the queue to be able to get on the KLM flight, which made no sense. Everybody was really confused. There wasn't many staff on there because they didn't have the staff, because they didn't know what was going on. And don't forget, this is in London. So we did manage to get through eventually, but it was that early, nothing was open. It did open up eventually, luckily. So there was bits and pieces that you could get, but the shops were only open for about 30 minutes before we went out. So I was lucky with that, but it did all seem a little bit weird. But again, still not knowing what was going on. So I did manage to get pretty much problem free from T4 over to the Netherlands, so that was easy enough. And then the games started to begin because, long story short, when we found out that there was a global issue and everything else, none of the staff, and I mean none of the staff, knew what was going on because there was nothing on the tablets, nobody was getting any updates. Our plane was there, but they could not get it to a gate. So we played musical gates for about 3, maybe 4 hours. Now, to walk from gate to gate, it took about half an hour at a time, and that is including the check-in staff. But it wasn't just us that had to move from gate to gate, it was everybody in the airport because they were trying to rotate everybody around. How they managed this, I do not know. But these are just some quick snippets of some different bits and pieces in there. Pause it if you want to. You can see you've got the tulips. That is the whole area we walked. It was nuts. We went from all the way from one side all the way back up again. I don't know how they did manage to sort it out. And what I was more amazed about is how quickly they sorted out all of the connecting flights. Because I'm going from here and then I get stuck in China, of all places. Luckily, not a huge amount of time. But this is a worry. That is the main runway, and not a single plane was taken off. Now, on the board, it was more and more flights were just getting cancelled or they're getting delayed, and more people as huge groups were starting to get bottlenecked up. And that's what you're about to see in some of these photos. But they sorted it. I can't believe they did manage to sort it, but they did so well. I felt so sorry for the staff, but you are completely powerless because that's all you had on the boards. This is all we saw. So we got to our gate. You can see there, I was supposed to leave at 25 to 2 in the afternoon. Hours and hours. So you can see that it's just there. That's just a board from the distance where there's more and more information with regards to just bits being delayed. You couldn't speak to anybody. Then that is gate G8. And then this is where we start to play musical gates. I think we move 5 times. So this is the first time we move. And there was everybody. That is everybody on our flight moving as a group. And it doesn't look too bad in that photo until you realise that a little bit further down from that photo, everybody from the other gates are starting to come against us. And then that's just where it went absolutely ballistic. We then get to this gate. So that was about a 25-minute walk. We were there about an hour and a half. The staff didn't know why we were there. Nobody knew why we were there. There was nowhere to sit. We were all sat on the floor. And then all of a sudden, we get told to move. So we all stand up and off we go again to another random gate. We found out eventually the reason why we kept moving from gate to gate to gate to gate, whereas all the other flights didn't really seem to be doing that, is because we needed to take a very long bus over, and there was only a certain amount of gates that had a staircase going down to where the buses were, because obviously if you think about it, how you get onto a plane, you go through one of those little bridges. So every one of those photos is now telling us to move again. So every time you see this, we are on the move. And again, as a huge group, we go to D42. We're at D42 for 3 minutes, and then it changed again. That is who I felt sorry for, because all of them were bottlenecked up in the room ready to go through. And then this happened. They all came back out and stood where we were, because then another lot went into where they were. We moved and they went where we were. So again, I hope you're keeping up with this, because the fact the flight was full and nobody missed the flight, I think, is even more impressive. And then how they actually managed all of the extra tickets and things like that was just, well, it's just crazy. So every single one of these photos is in a different location. It just looks like we haven't moved. It was just that busy. But now we are making our way to the plane, and this is the reason why, because like I said, we had to get on a bus. It was a long bus journey as well. I reckon we're on there for about 15 minutes. We actually ended up going over a road, over a big bridge to this side where there were some planes, where they just couldn't get them over, and then we were taxiing forever. But the airline was amazing. Now, I'm in China. Simple enough, you say. I was so tired by this point because I think it was already delayed by a few hours, and I knew that I had missed this flight. I was walking to the next bit where you catch the connecting flight. There was 200 people in a queue. You basically waited to get told what flight you're going to go on to next. I ended up getting stuck in China for a while. So it wasn't as bad as, like I said, about those poor Australians. They were stuck there for 72 hours until they could get their next flight. It happened to everybody. So it is what it is. It just happened to absolutely everybody. But this is now some snippets of the only bits and pieces that you saw. And this is the best bit. So we get on the plane, as you can see now. Nice dry weather. The bit before that you saw with the rain, there was a storm in China. There was tornado winds, tornado something else. There was a name of a storm. And we sat in the plane for over an hour until we could then take off, which then delayed everything even more. So then when we got to the other end of where I was going to, in Manila, in the Philippines, we then couldn't get to the gate for ages. So I think all in all, I was delayed by... I was supposed to get there at 10 o'clock in the morning. 12 hours? No, 13 hours, I think. I think. So... that is the chaos of the airport. That is all I could take with regards to photos. It was mental, but also an amazing experience at the same time. Now, this is what I was going to do as a separate video, and I was going to link it into the car park and then just do it all as a highlight reel like I normally do, but it wouldn't make any sense. So because I've never gone to T4 before, I thought, well, I'll just see how easy it actually is. And you can see the traffic on the bottom right-hand corner of the bridge. Luckily, I missed all of that. And I just managed to drive to here absolutely no problem whatsoever. I would quite happily fly out of T4 again. Very, very small terminal compared to T5 and also the T2, T3 long stay car park as well. The bus, that was really easy. They just had, it was literally a one run down the centre of the car park, when then you literally just get off and then you either go all the way over to the left of the car park or all the way over to the right of the car park, and they've done it as zonal A to D. So you can really easily find your vehicle, whereas T2, T3 long stay, if you've not stayed there before, well, it's got to be well over 1,000 vehicles that you can actually get there. So there is a lot that you can do. But this was me now driving before I had done the introduction, obviously. So this is about 10 minutes long. So you can see that at the top we pick up all the signs. You've got everything T1, T2, T3, T4. But like I said, because I've not done it before, I found it quite interesting myself. And like I said, there was a lot of firsts. But again, one more time, the staff in Amsterdam were incredible, and I felt so sorry for the people checking in us, because the people that sit there and they scan your boarding pass to then go through had to stay with us every single time we moved, and we got moved to another gate, but there was no information on the board. They had no information on their hand. Nobody knew for our flight where we were going, and it was only because the flight before us got delayed by about an hour and a half that our plane couldn't go to the gate, and then after that it just had that knock-on effect for us, as it would have done for a few of the other flights as well. And then how they sorted out everything in China, it was almost flawless. You literally have to walk down that long corridor, like I said. You then turn right. You would have turned right anyway, because you just go through basically passport control again, and they just make sure that you are going through like international connections. And they had a couple of members of staff at the back, and they were shouting out different flights that were coming out sooner. Obviously, I was flying to where I was flying to, so I had an option of 2 flights, and luckily I got on the next flight after that, so I was not stuck in China that long. Because of the rain and everything else, that obviously took a while to get out of it when I was on it, but luckily it wasn't too bad. Otherwise I would have had, it was another 8 hours, I think, until the next flight for that. And a couple of the other people that we were speaking to on the flight, some people were stuck there into the morning, and like I said, Australia, it was 72 hours. So all in all, I was extremely lucky. Now, the other thing that I was also extremely lucky about is where I ended up landing. I was there for a couple of days, and the day I left, flooding started. So you've got all of that to look forward to in this sort of series of uploads. So I managed to get out of that cluster just about okay, and watching the news and stuff coming in on that. If you know anything about any UK flooding, for example, the UK flooding looked like a little puddle compared to what I've seen and experienced when I was over there. Absolutely mental. Every place that I went to, there was either hurricane warnings in place or just big supernova storms, I think they called them, coming through. And that was one of the big things that hit our plane for China. So it was definitely a very interesting experience. But I did book the ticket without a travel agent. So I did manage to, because that's what I normally do. And obviously the biggest worry when you do that is what happens if something goes wrong. Now, I would imagine that this, obviously being a global issue, is the biggest problem you are ever going to face, period, with regards to that. I did nothing. I didn't have to sort out a single thing. It was all sorted out for me. There's your next flight. Do you want it? If not, there's one for there. I'll take it, thank you very much. And off I went to gate 172. So the China airport, it's a big one. It's just one long corridor, basically. So you will have to, I advise you to get a motor on from when you get off the plane, because it can get a little bit fruity when you queue up for a while. But apart from that, you're okay. And then if they realise that you're stuck in a queue, but your flight is actually before a lot of the people's that you're connecting, they will shout you through, because they did that for me on the way home. I had like 20 people in front of me, and they just said, people going to Heathrow, you put your hand up, and they just get you into the front. So they are very, very, very well organised over there. So I have got no hesitation at all to go back over there again. I will prepare for the worst again, because snacks, food, money, you don't expect to be in a country with the wrong currency for that amount of time. So obviously make sure you've got your cards or credit cards and stuff with you just in case. But apart from that, it was okay. But yeah, looking back at it and watching this back, it doesn't come through on camera the sheer panic of what people were having, and the staff were just tearing their hair out, because it's a silent airport over in Amsterdam, so they don't have anything on a tannoy, so it only comes up on the information boards and the information system. And if you are struggling to actually keep up with how fast that information was moving, whoever was the person having to organise that and get all the flights out, because it took a couple of days to get them all sorted, because when I actually came back, it'll all be explained in later videos, when I actually came back to another airport, I ended up getting stuck there again, so I ended up going somewhere else, just because of a knock-on effect. But that was to do with the floods, and more than likely the global issue as well. So they had global issue. 2 days later, the whole country went under for flooding. That then had a huge knock-on effect for no flights being able to go out for another day, so they lost 2 full flights. So then obviously they were moving everybody onto different bits and pieces, and it was just fun and games. But hopefully, because I've not actually said anything about the video, you can see just how pleasant the drive's been. Easy. It was so easy. Again, the Premier Inn, if you book in advance, it's really cheap. The fact that it's just that little link bridge, it's superb, really. I mean, obviously you can get dropped off. So if you're getting driven there, you just get dropped off at the front. You just do what I did, walk straight through to the hotel, off you go, pick your hotel, stay there for a night. I would potentially do it if you had a long layover as well. So I did think about that. If you've got like a 7 or a 10 hour layover, it is somewhere that you can easily go, get a good couple of hours sleep, and then just carry on, rather than being stuck in the airport for so long. That is something that I have considered in the past, and I know that's what a lot of people were trying to do with the layovers that are getting given in China, but obviously you don't expect to be there for that amount of time. My layover wasn't supposed to be an hour and 58. I think it ended up being about 4.5, but like I said, it could have been 9, so I was very, very lucky with that, because I think I got the second to last seat on the plane. But what went wrong with that? Oh yeah, we had to wait for that to take off because a flight from Dubai was delayed, and there was like maybe 30-40 passengers from Dubai getting on our flights. They all came running down, all dripping with sweat. And then they said they can't take off due to turbulence, and then 5 minutes later, the heavens opened, and the rain on top of that airplane with the thunder and lightning coming off, you can see why there was literally zero visibility as well. And that was going on for, again, a good hour before we went off. So even though I was delayed in the actual airport for a few hours, I then got stuck in the plane again for a good amount of time. But then once we took off, it was simple enough until we landed again, and then we got stuck there for a good while as well. But But by that point, I couldn't care less. I'm just glad that we got there and everything was okay and it was all good and tickety-boo. So hopefully you've enjoyed this upload. Like I said, this was supposed to be 3 different videos. I've just done it as one longer video. You have got a lot of longer content to come. I'm going to be mixing in this trip with all of the theme park bits and pieces just to keep it mixed. But don't forget, this is a proper travel channel. So I want to be going all around the world when I do all the Legoland parks and all the other amusement parks and stuff like that. And I don't just want to share the theme parks with you. I want to share all the accommodation and just traveling around and exploring some amazing things as well. Hence the global life travel. So there will be something for everybody on this channel, and I will try and keep mashing it up and mixing up a little bit with regards to how the uploads are coming in, but at the same time I would like to upload these in chunks so it sort of tells a story, because I don't upload the next part for a couple of weeks. It's going to make no sense this being a standalone video, but there will be a standalone playlist, so keep checking the playlists as videos get added. So there should be a playlist for you. And what I will say about this car park, there was so many spaces compared to T2, T3, because normally you get to T2, T3 and you think, oh my days, there's going to be nowhere to park. You drive up a little bit, you got past A, I think, I turn right in a second, and I ended up going up. You can see it's coned off, so they were doing, because they were trimming all the hedges at the back. So I drove up a little bit, parked in. I actually ended up walking to the bus stop, as you saw. I actually then walked back and got the truck and moved it the other side of the car park, because I don't like not being parked against the hedges, because obviously on the truck, if anybody wants to try and rip anything open, well, they can't with that if I boxed it all in. So I've got to be careful where I park different bits and pieces, but they do have security here all the time, and there was absolutely no problem whatsoever. But it was extremely hot. It was an extremely long day. I cannot wait to share all of the walks, waterfalls, hotels, beaches, fish, and adventures that are going to be coming from this playlist. But guys, that is it, and I am done. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. If you don't take care, I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.